Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Trust all of you are doing well and keeping safe in today's time. If there's any issues with my audio, please feel free to put it in the chat. If you're not able to hear, we'll just rectify it. But a very warm good evening, and thanks for registering, and attending today's masterclass session on building projects using data structures and algorithms and its importance for cracking, developer jobs and internships. So I'll quickly take a minute and talk about Masai School, as well as introduce myself. So I'm Bharat. I head community for Masai, and we have Lohit over here, who is the keynote speaker for today's session. I'll briefly introduce him, as time comes, and then I have, my other team member, Shiv, who is a community manager with us, and he's the one who has been continuously communicating with all of you, through Zoom, etc. So a bit about Masai School. So we are a 21st century coding school headquartered in Bangalore. We upskill tech aspirants in full stack web and Android development with zero upfront fees and allowing students to pay only after they get a job of 5 LP and above. This is a very unique and innovative model that we have gotten into, where we tend to invest in our students, unlike traditional education system. Just for your information, we celebrated our second anniversary yesterday. We finished 2 years on 10th of June. So a superb milestone, and looking forward to many more years of helping students upskilling. Some statistics that will help you understand the kind of impact that we have created. In the last 2 years of our existence, 91% of our graduates from 6 cohorts have been placed at an average CTC of 6.81 LPA, with highest moving up to 25 LPA. And the most interesting fact over here is 60% of our students come from non-computer science and computer application background, something that we are extremely proud about. So the programs that we have launched are for extreme beginners. You can go and check masaischool.com, whenever you get chance. And moving forward, before I invite the presenter, for today's session, Lohit, and introduce him to everyone, I would love to understand where are you guys joining from. So if you guys can just hit the chat button and talk about the city you are from. Just put whichever city you are kind of joining from. I would love to see that. Wow, Rajasthan, Ahmed, Kanpur, Nagpur, Pathankot, Berhampur, lovely, Delhi, Guwahati, Unnao, Karnataka, Lucknow, Telangana, Jaipur, Maharashtra, Nagpur, Bangalore, lovely, Kolkata, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, lovely. I think we are covering pretty much every state in the country. Great to see wonderful participation from across India. Nepal, oh wow, amazing. Yes, interestingly, a lot of people from different towns and cities in other states. I rarely have seen Hyderabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, in the picture. That is something wonderful to look at. Vellore, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, excellent, excellent. So again, guys, thank you so much, for joining from wherever you have. And I'll quickly move. In interest of time, I'll quickly introduce our presenter for today's session, Lohit, who is working at Masai as a lead software developer. Quick background about him: he finished his graduation from BITS Goa in computer science, and during his college time, he was deeply engaged in competitive programming, and something he loves to do, when he gets time. He has done his internship at Microsoft and with the Bing and Cortana team, as well as an internship with American Express in the credit risk and fraud team. Before joining Masai, he was working as an SDE at CodeNation for 2 years. And I'm happy to have him today over here, sharing some interesting learnings with all of you. So hi, Lohit, wonderful to have you. Before I hand it over to you, I'll quickly set some ground rules for everyone. So guys, I think to just keep this very engaging, we'll be doing a lot of quizzes and polls in between. So I'm hoping everyone would participate. And also, we'll take the questions at the end. So please use the Q&A button that you are able to find. Use the Q&A option to post all your questions. We'll be taking it at the end. You'll also have an opportunity to upvote for the questions. So, try not repeating the same questions. So with that, I think the last bit that I want to convey is there's something very interesting that I want to share at the end of the session. Something that we have planned and something that we are bringing for you guys, which I'm super excited about. So stay tuned, ensure you have fun, ask questions, and let's keep this very interactive and engaging. So with this, Lohit, over to you, and you can start with your presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Bharat. Thanks everyone for joining in. As Bharat introduced me, my name is Lohit, and I currently work as a lead software developer at Masai. So I hope the next 40-45 minutes that I spend with you, I hope you can take something out of it, and that helps in your career sometime down the line. So it was good to see that we have people from various places of India. So that's really great. This session will mostly cater to to understand what are the various applications of algorithms or data structures in real world, and what are the kind of projects one could work on to build a good understanding of DS Algo, as well as solve some real world problems. And later we can talk about what's the importance of the same when it comes to cracking developer jobs as well as internships. So moving on, setting some context of what we will be learning in the next 45 minutes. So first of all, we will talk about some things about what are the myths related to a software developer's life or a day, basically. What are data structures and algorithms? So someone in the chat asked what is DS and Algo. So DS and Algo stands for data structures and algorithms. Then we will talk about some applications of algorithms, some projects that can be built using data structures and algorithms. And later we can talk about some what makes DSA important when it comes to technical interviews. So yeah, moving on. Yeah. So these are the very common myths I come across when I tell people that I am a software developer, or someone who is not from software development background, or someone who is starting or wants to get into. They believe that every software developer engages into writing code. Like they just write code, eat, sleep, and repeat. So that is one of the myths. I will clear it later that it's not that a software developer writes code all the time. They do a lot of other things apart from writing code. Then there is a very misconception that every software developer can become a hacker, or software development is a sub part of a hacker. Like they have some overlaps, but a hacker is some sort of a different field when it is compared to a software development field. So these are some myths which I often do see when it comes when people talk about software development. So I wanted to understand how much time do you think a software developer would be taking to write code in a normal day? So let's say if I'm working for 100 hours, how much time would I be developing or writing code? Yeah, Bharat, if you could share that poll of time taken by, I think that would be a better way to capture.
Yes, Lohit.
Okay, so there's a poll shared with everyone. If everyone could write their answers over there. So it's okay. I don't expect anyone to write a correct answer or something. And in fact, it's not like the answer is constant across all the software developers. There could be some companies where they spend a lot of time. There could be some companies where they hardly spend any time. But in general, I mean, there's a misconception that they write code all the time. So just wanted to understand, like, what do you guys believe? How much time do they spend?
No, I'll do. You can just continue.
Yeah. So moving on. This is roughly what my day looks like when I work at Masai School. So I can see that most of the people have said that 50 to 75% is what they do. And 35% people have said 25 to 75%. So yeah, I mean, I would say I spend around 30 to 20 to 30% of time writing code at Masai School. So usually this is what my day looks like. 10% of the time is about what new features can be added to already the products that we have. Then 20% of the time is the code time. So basically designing the flow or designing the implementation of a feature. And there's 30% of the time goes into testing and debugging the code that I have written. So roughly 50% of the time is when I keep myself engaged with some sort of code. Or rest 40% is all about documenting what I have done. So when it comes to working at a company, it's not always that you contribute and you write code and you just push out some new feature, right? There is a team of 10 people, 12 people who are working with you, and they need to understand what you have done so that in your absence or whatever they are working on, they can leverage with what you have done. So that is why documenting becomes very important. And maybe at small scale companies, it is not very important. But when it comes to a large scale company like Google, Microsoft, etc., documentation becomes a very important part because a lot they work in teams of 15 to 20 people, and everyone needs to know what is going on. So this is why documenting is a very like important part of a software developer's life. Uh, so now moving ahead to what is data structures and algorithms. Um, so in our life, we see a lot of data. I mean, anywhere you go, you see data, right? Be it elections, be it the time from what time to what time you did XYZ task. That all the things that you do are data. What kind of food you eat, what's the nutrition in the food, or uh, let's say election system, like how many votes to went to which particular party, or any other thing, like how many students joined a particular thing, or how many people were able to solve a particular problem, or how many people were able to give the exam, or how many students scored well in the exam. All these data, we have a lot of data. So in every scenario, we try to structure the data in some or the other format, right? So data structure is what it talks about. In whatever format you structure your data, it is called data structures. So yeah, Nachiketa, you are right. Even arrays and vectors are a sort of primitive data structure. I mean, these are just on the slide. What you can see is like linked list, stacks, queues, trees, graphs. So these are some a bit advanced data structures compared to arrays and vectors, but definitely arrays and vectors are also one way to structure data. So data structure is nothing, but how do you structure your data or order your data or arrange your data in a particular fashion? So it is up to you. Arrays is one way, linked list is another way, stacks is one way, queues is another way. So depending on how you want to use that data, you decide which data structure to go for. So a graph is something like when you have multiple places or multiple entities and you want to connect each entity with the other entity, that is when graph comes in. When you want to store n elements, that is when arrays or vectors can come in. So these are various data structures that exist or have been, I mean, regularly used. There are various other data structures which are not regularly used, or you can go ahead and build your own data structure of your choice by giving any conditions or any particular order of storing things. So coming to algorithms, what does algorithm mean? I mean, when I first time heard the word algorithm, I was very much confused. I thought algorithm is same as logarithm, but they are quite quite a lot of different things. So what's an algorithm? An algorithm is anything which defines a set of instructions or steps. So a very simple example is uh, making a lime juice, right? So when you get a recipe of lime juice, the first step would be like get 100 ml of water or 300 ml of water. In 300 ml of water, add this, add X amount of sugar, Y amount of salt, uh, mix it together, squeeze lemon, some half a lemon into it, and again mix it, turn it together, let it be for some time so that sugar dissolves into water, and your lemonade or lemon lime juice is ready, right? So all these steps, this is a particular algorithm to make a lemon juice or lime juice or lemonade, whatever you call it. So this is what I mean a particular algorithm is. Now coming to what are the famous algorithms that are used. So when you search for an address on Google Maps, it uses algorithms. When you open Facebook and whatever you see on your timeline, like whatever post you see on your timeline are decided by some algorithms which Facebook has built, right? So you won't see any random post made by me because you are not my friend, right? You will only see posts which are made by your friends. So that is one part of the algorithm that it tries to ensure that you see posts of people you follow or friends or pages you follow, right? So uh, now let's come to a poll. I just wanted to understand that what is your understanding of data structures, right? So I had a poll question which will ask you which of the following is a data structure. It's okay if you are wrong, right, or anything. I would like to understand how many of you understand what's a data structure and what's an algorithm. Yeah, but you are right. It's like preparation or some sort of sequence of steps that makes an algorithm basically. Okay. So yeah, I think around 50% of you are right that which of the following is not a data structure. So yeah, that's really good to know that, okay, 50% of you know and understand what's the difference between a hash table and binary search. So stacks and queues, as I said, they are also a form of data structure. Similarly, for people who don't understand, hash table is also a data structure. So apart from that, binary search is an algorithm that we will talk about in some time. Please feel free to write if you have any particular questions that I can help you with. So again, coming back to it, data structures is like a way to structure whatever data you have. A table is a form of a data structure, right? Similarly, stacks, queues is a form of a data structure, and algorithm is a sequence of steps. So both data structures and algorithms you use everywhere. I mean, you can be a computer science student, you cannot be a computer science student, you always use them, just that you don't know that you are using a data structure or an algorithm. So coming to now, let's try to discuss some algorithms. Let's say I give you n elements. Okay. Let's say I give you a dictionary of n words. A dictionary has a lot of words, right? And if I ask you, let's say I want to search for a word called Masai in the dictionary. How can you do it? How do you believe can you do it? So uh, one way is that as Shubham has mentioned, one way is that you can keep searching one by one each and every page from the first page to last page. And if you don't find the word in the first page, you move on to the second page, right? So that is one way of searching in dictionary. But what is a way that we all guys use? Like if I want to use Masai, I will use a random, I will open a random page in dictionary, right? I will open a random page. Let's say that page has a word called dog, dog, dog. Then I know that I need to move on the right side of the dictionary and not the left side of the dictionary. right? Now again, I will you open a random page between dog and the last page. And let's say I get a word like parrot. So parrot, again, I know that my answer now lies between like left side of parrot and right side of dog, because Masai comes between D and P, right? So I will keep repeating these steps until I reach the page which has Masai, right? So all of us have been using this algorithm or this sequence of steps to search for a particular word in a dictionary. Just that no one told us that it is binary search. So this is nothing but not exactly binary search, but a kind of binary search wherein you are able to decide that which half you want to go, and based on the fact that you know that the words in dictionary are in a sorted order. Does it make sense to everyone? Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of people have written binary search and sorting alphabetical order. So yeah, I think, yeah, a lot of you seem to be on board with what's going on. So yeah, over here we are making use of the fact that our words are already in a particular sorted order, right? They are already in a alphabetical order, and we are making use of the same to quickly make decisions as to where do we want to go. Do we want to go on the left side pages or the right side of the pages? So now let's try to think a bit more. Can we somehow use binary search to find square root of a number? What do you guys believe? So let's say if I give you a number 100, and if I ask you guys to find the square root of number 100, right? So one way is that you memorize the square root. Like a very simple way is I have memorized it. I know that the square root of 100 is 10, right? So for me, it is very easy. But let's say if I give you a very big number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, how will you find it, right? So one way is that you can start from square of 1. Okay, square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 2, square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, and one by one until you reach 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, right? Wait, let me just write down the number on the screen. So this is the number we are talking about. Okay. Yeah, Shreyans, you are right. The answer is for this number is 111. But if we were to find how will you do it? Or let's take a smaller number first. Let's take only 121, and let's try to understand how does it happen. So one way, as I said, that you can go from square of 1, that is equal to 1, then you will search for square of 2, that is equal to 4, square of 3, that is equal to 9, and so on and so forth. Square of 10, that is equal to 100, and square of 11, that is equal to 121. Okay. Now let's try to think from binary search perspective how you can do it. So instead of starting from 1, what I will do is I will take a random element in between. Okay, I will take any random element from 1 to 121. Let's say I took a random element 20. Okay, so I know the square of 20 is 400, right? That means my answer is less than 20. Does it make sense? Yeah. So my answer is less than 20. So now I will take a random element between 1 to 20, right? And let's say I take 10. So my square of 10 is 100, which is less than 121, right? So this means my answer is greater than 10, right? So this way, now I know my answer lies between 10 and 20 both, right? Now I can take an element between 10 to 20. Let's say I took 15, and I will do the same process with 15. 15 is 225. So this means my answer lies between 10 to 15. So as you can see, using binary search, I can make decisions faster. And I will, once, if I keep doing it, I will end up on answer 11 very fast as compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. And this will make a bigger impact when we have bigger numbers, right? Because we will arrive on answer faster. Instead of starting from 1, we will start from somewhere in middle, and we will be able to arrive to our answer much faster when it comes to binary search. So this is, I mean, very theoretical applications. A very practical application of this binary search has been in COVID-19 testing. So at least I don't think in India we tried this out, but in US and a lot of countries they tried out this concept of pool testing. It was actually also tried out in Uttar Pradesh. So what did they do? They chose a very smart technique that instead of testing one person at a time, they test 100 people at a time together. How? You mix samples of all the 100 people and do a test. If the sample is positive, that means someone in the 100 people are positive, right? So that means we will be able to divide this, or that means we can divide this sample into 50 people and 50 people, and we will again test this sample and this sample. And if this sample comes out to be negative, we can say that okay, all these 50 people are negative, right? So just based on two tests, only two tests, I was able to say that okay, 50 people are negative, right? Let's say in this section again, someone the sample came positive. Yeah, Vishu. So again, I will try to repeat. We have 100 people. We collect samples of all the 100 people and mix them and do a COVID test, right? Once we do a COVID test, if the sample comes positive, that means someone is positive. Either this guy is positive or people from this batch are positive. Assume that only one person is positive. Okay, let's make an assumption. Only one person is positive for 100 people. Okay, so I know that this 100 sample of 100 people will come positive. So I will divide that into two batches, 50 people and 50 people. And if this sample comes negative, that means my positive person lies in this sample and all these people are negative. So using two tests, I was able to say that, okay, these 50 people are negative. Now I will divide these 50 people into 25, 25 each, right? And again test them. So if this comes out to be positive and this comes out to be negative, I can let these 25 people go home, saying that, hey guys, you are negative, you can leave. So in three tests, I was able to conclude about 75 people that they are negative, right? So this is again a very practical application of binary search. Not exactly binary search, but when it comes to making direct applications of binary search. So I mean, this is a very brief of how algorithms are used in real world. Now let's try to. I mean, I don't expect anyone layman to understand it in one go. If you guys read ahead more about it, you will be able to understand in a better way as to how this pool testing helped in COVID-19, especially in places where the number of testing kits were very less.
Lohit,
now, yeah.
Lohit, there's some questions in the Q&A with respect to what you're talking about. I think you can take it on the go so that.
Yeah, sure.
Like Aishwarya.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. So yeah, Aishwarya, right now, as far as I know, if the elements are not sorted, one way is linear search definitely, and the way is definitely, I mean, you can build your own data structure. One of them is hash table and store data in that format to search for something. So yeah, Aishwarya, I think that answers your question. Abhirami, is there any shortcuts or tricks? So no, I will get back to this as to how to prepare for, DS Algo. Definitely there are no shortcuts and tricks usually. But yeah, I will come to it how one can prepare for the same. Guys, if you have any questions related to Masai School, we will try to answer them at the end of the session. Jhansi, yes, we will talk about how to become better in DSA. Durga Devi, yeah, you are right. Binary search is usually using middle elements, not random elements. Sure. Any other questions which are related to Masai course? We can take them at the end of the session.
Sure, Rohit. I think we can proceed.
Yeah. Sorry. So now coming to what are other different applications of DSA and what projects, I mean, you guys could do, which use DSA. So they will help you understand, help you build understanding of DSA, as well as you can showcase them on your resumes, and I mean, they can look very interesting to the interviewer and they can talk about it. So something like Sudoku, I hope everyone knows what a Sudoku is. So a Sudoku is something, a puzzle, and you can build something, build an algorithm, which basically lies on recursion and backtracking, and build a Sudoku solver, and you can showcase it on your resume, and it's a really cool project to talk about. So there are various techniques on building it. Similarly, there's something called Pathfinder. So a Pathfinder is like a person is stuck in the grid from starting position to ending position, and you have to find a path for that person. So a grid has obstacles. They are stuck in the maze. A maze is given, and you are able to basically find a path for the person who is stuck in the maze. So you can do a project on that. So that will require your knowledge of graph algorithms. Those are very interesting. So when I was in the interviewing panel at my previous company, Coordination, I used to find them very interesting, and I was able to talk on them rather than me asking a problem. If people have done projects, that really helps and brings that discussion to the interview. Then there is something called Bloom filters. So what are Bloom filters? Let's say there are 10 million users on your platform, right? And you want to search for a particular user. One way is again linear search. Another way is binary search. You can sort all the user names and do binary search. But there is a different kind of data structure and algorithm, which is Bloom filters. So this is a very interesting algorithm or data structure which not many people know about, and this can all grab attention of any interviewer or any place where you pitch in, saying grab attention on your resume basically. Now coming to sports, like I guess a lot of you would be interested in cricket. So this famous Duckworth-Lewis method of cricket, which basically predicts or tries to say that what in case of rains or in case when the match was stopped, what could have happened and which team would have won, right? So that uses dynamic programming, and it's a very interesting algorithm. There are some blogs written on that. You can go ahead and read them. It's a very interesting application of algorithms. Similarly, there is something called WAPS method, that is winning and score predictor. So this was used first time in a New Zealand match. It was built by an engineer in New Zealand, New Zealand Cricket Academy, and they tried to guess during the innings of a cricket match how much the team is going to build. So after 10 overs, they are trying to predict what's the score going to be at the end of the inning. So that also uses a very interesting algorithm. Then when you guys use WhatsApp, right? When you send images to your friends or to your family members or etc., the image size is very big, right? If it uses a lot of data, so WhatsApp uses image compression algorithms so that that data can be transferred fast as well as stored fast on both your mobile and the receiver's mobile. Similarly, there's a famous game called Akinator. I don't know whether you guys have tried it or not, but do try out. It's a game, Akinator. The game is very interesting. The game asks you to think of a particular celebrity. So, for example, I can think of Virat Kohli, and it will ask you questions. Example, it will ask you whether the celebrity you are thinking of is a male or a female. Does he play any sport, or is he a musician? And it will ask you some 20-25 questions. And after 20 questions or 25 questions, it will definitely guess your celebrity. So yeah, it's kind of AI based game, Rubaji. You are right. Similarly, guys, someone in the question Q&A has asked tic-tac-toe. So yeah, tic-tac-toe also is a good project you guys can do. Especially try to build a bot which can play tic-tac-toe with you, not just tic-tac-toe solver, but something which can play tic-tac-toe with you and which is very smart. So yeah, there are algorithms on that also. The algorithm which is commonly used is called minimax algorithm. or alpha beta pruning, or let me just type it out for you guys. Or alpha beta pruning. So you can read about those algorithms if you want. So more and more projects you guys do related to algorithms. That I mean, that helps interviewers and everyone to understand that you have a very good understanding of what data structures and algorithms are. So that is one of the applications of algorithms. So these are some projects. There are definitely a lot of other projects that you can pick up, but these are some projects which I have seen people doing and I find them very interesting. And they relate to real world problems. They are not like you just solve a problem and that's over. But these are something which are used in real life and people would like to talk about them. So coming to importance of data structures and algorithms. So importance is like I have heard a lot of people saying that okay, people do DSA, but in software development we don't use DSA at all. So this is a very wrong notion. All these machine learning databases, uh, operating systems, etc., heavily rely on DSA. I mean, uh, you need machine learning databases uses a data structure called B tree. Operating system uses a lot of algorithms. Machine learning uses a lot of algorithms. So I mean, the data structures and algorithms form the core of computer science. I mean, when someone tells you that you don't need to know DSA, it's a very wrong notion. Yeah, I agree to the fact that I don't write algorithms every day. I don't probably you won't be writing algorithms every day, but you would be using them. I mean, there are packages and libraries which will be using, and you need to understand how they work. If you don't understand, it is very difficult to build whatever software you are building. So if someone is saying that you don't need to know DSA or you don't apply, it's very wrong. It's more like you need to understand so that you can build stuff using those algorithms. Secondly, when learn DSA, it acts as an aptitude measurement or a problem solving skill measurement of a person. So it helps understand whether you are able to solve problems or understand trade-offs. So trade-offs is like making decisions that are you going to go with decision one or decision two? What are the pros and cons when you take those decisions? Many times not there is not a single decision that can be made, right? So yeah, someone has asked, does image compression reduce the picture quality? So yeah, I think it is Ashwarya. Yeah, Ashwarya, it does reduce the picture quality. But yeah, there are some compression algorithms which don't reduce it also. But you can read about it more. Like there are a lot of various different image compression algorithms, and you can read up on that. But in general, yeah, it does reduce the quality. Vaishu is asking what's the difference between a program and algorithm. So yeah, program and algorithm. Program is like algorithm is more like not exactly computer science. It's a sequence of steps. Program is an implementation of algorithm in the language of computer, right? So when you write a program, you are telling computer what to do. When you write a cooking recipe, you are telling the chef what to do. So a recipe is also kind of a program, but it is in the language of people. Yeah. Yeah, machine learning. Yeah, so machine learning I mean, in a way, Wiki has our machine learning only algorithm. So yeah, I mean, machine learning does use a lot of algorithms. So exactly, I mean, it is built on algorithms. Just the kind of algorithms are quite different, and they use a lot of other skills, not only math, number theory or something like that. So yeah, now I just wanted to have a poll on understanding how much do you guys understand the history of computer science. So there's a question like, who was the father of algorithms? I would like to understand how many of you have an idea of that. So I will give you some brief intro about these personalities. Al-Khwarizmi was a pioneer in algebra and mathematics. He was really good at something using algebra. Like he built a lot of things on algebra. Then there was Alan Turing. So Alan Turing was a guy who was very important in World War II. If you have watched the movie, I don't exactly. There was a movie based on him, wherein he discovered a cryptography algorithm. I don't exactly remember the movie. Uh, yeah, The Imitation Game. Yeah, thanks Devesh, thanks Ashwin. So there is a very interesting movie on him. You should check out. So over there, he built an algorithm which was able to crack the German army's messages, and it was really interesting. I mean, he had a very tragic life. Thomas Coleman is a professor at Stanford and various other universities, and he writes a lot about algorithms and data structures. And he has a very famous book named on his name itself, which is known as Coleman or CLRS. So some of you have asked what are some good books to read about algorithms. So this is one of the books which I read during my college time. It's a bit theoretical, not very practical, but it gives a very in-depth knowledge about algorithms. And Sidgwick, he is also a writer about algorithms and a computer science professional. So he writes a lot about algorithms, and he also has a book called Introduction to Algorithms. You guys can check out that book also. So answer to this question is the first guy, Al-Khwarizmi. Not so famous personality, but he is known as the father of algorithms. So he was very much into mathematics, and as I said, algorithms is based on the foundation of mathematics, and that is why Al-Khwarizmi is regarded as the father of algorithms. So now coming to importance we have discussed. Now coming to why technical interviews have focus a lot on DSA, right? So most of the product-based companies like Google, Facebook, Netflix, the companies that you have heard of, focus on DSA. Similarly, high frequency trading firms like Jane Street and Tower Research. So these are companies which deal with stock market and investments. They take people's money and try to invest and give them returns. All these companies have a very high bar when it comes to DSA skills of people. So why is it? Because these companies work with a lot of data. The amount of data is huge. The scale is very much, and even a small change in an algorithm can impact the performance by a huge margin. It can be a positive impact or a negative impact. So that is why these companies need to ensure that people they are hiring understand what are algorithms. So yeah, this is what makes DSA very important when it comes to technical interviews. Now, a lot of you have asked me that how can you become better at DSA? So first of all, the very first important thing is that you need to have a problem solving mindset. You should not be of the mindset that someone gives you a problem and then someone should give you an answer. You should be able to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes and try to think and understand by yourself, right? Similarly, the second most important thing is never give up, right? If you get a question, don't directly be like, okay, this is totally outside my understanding and I can't do it. This is a very wrong way to do it. You should always try to spend like 30, 40 minutes. If you're not able to solve a problem, try to read hints, discussion about the problem. If then also you're not able to solve, then read editorial or tutorial of the problem, then watch out some video, then check out code, but don't give up. Try to solve the problem if you have opened it. If you are not able to solve it, figure out what went wrong. Ensure that it's not about solving 1,000 problems. It's about solving 100 problems, but understanding the quality, right? And having a good understanding of what you have solved. You need to practice a lot. Practice is a very important piece of DSA. A lot of you are saying that, asking whether are there any shortcuts or tricks. I don't know any good tricks or shortcuts to do DSA. Practice is how you do it. You can reach out to mentors and stuff who can help you, tell you what give you a path, but ultimately you will have to practice. So you should definitely join. I mean, ask out, reach out people to get a path as to what are the set of problems that you can solve. But without practice, no one can help you. Attempt to discuss. So have a friend circle who are very much interested in DSA. That is also very important. This is what helped me also. When I joined my college, not a lot of people used to do DSA, but I tried to reach out various other people outside my college, and we used to regularly discuss problems, and that helped me a lot. Don't compare yourself based on compare yourself with others based on number of problems you have they have solved. uh, People cheat a lot, people do a lot of things, and it's not a good idea. You need to assess yourself whether are you progressing or not. Don't try to compare yourself with others based on number of problems solved. That's a very bad idea. And very important thing about DSA is when you solve a problem, try to explain the algorithm to someone. For example, this is why I like teaching, right? So I used to teach my juniors at my college. Okay, this is binary search. Or for example, I'm trying to teach you guys, right? So this is what helped me, right? When I discuss or try to teach someone, it clears my concepts also. So if you have no one, take your parents or your siblings or any friend or anyone. I mean, catch anyone and tell them that, okay, I want to explain you how binary search works, and try to explain him in 5-10 minutes. So if you can explain anyone, that means you have understood it very well. So these are some tips and tricks. I know how you can get better at DSA. Some of you have asked for good books. Good books are like, there's a book by Robert Sidgwick called Introduction to Algorithms. That is really good. There is a book by Corman, as I said, that is also named Introduction to Algorithms. That's also really good. Uh, there are a lot of online resources on code forces, as well as top coder, etc. platforms wherein you can read about data structures and algorithm. So yeah, at Masai also we are planning to come up with material which can help people get started. So do keep checking out our platform. Probably by the end of the month we will have something which can help people get started with DSA. Yeah, so this is what I believe helps people in DSA. Yeah, now this is a very famous quote, or probably many of you would have heard. This is from someone called Linus Torvalds. This is more about he's saying that it's not about being a bad programmer or good programmer. It is more about whether you understand the algorithms and data structures very well or not. You can write very good code, bad code, and stuff, but if you don't understand data structures and algorithms, you can't really build very good softwares. You need to build good software. To build good softwares, you need to have a very good understanding of DSA. Sure. Yeah, I will try to pick up some questions now. So yeah, someone has asked, Aryaman is asking, are there any tools for building DSA projects? So Aryaman, there are no specific tools as such. You have to decide like what do you want to use and go ahead and code it. I mean, there are no specific tools as such. That is something I really like. Like in DSA, you don't really need any tools as such. For proper development projects, you need to have idea about frameworks. But for this, you don't need to know any tools. What exactly is dynamic programming? To define it in short, Rajveer, dynamic program is like you don't repeat the same thing that you have done before, right? If you have done something before, you use that answer to compute next answer. That is the crux of dynamic programming. But yeah, I mean, the concept is very big. It can't be explained in 1 minute or 5-10 minutes or even within the time frame of this session. So yeah. Someone is asking what language can we start with to practice DSA. So my recommendation is to start with C++ or Java, preferably C++ because on the internet you will find more resources in C++ and that will be convenient to learn. But in any language, I mean, you can do DSA in any language. That should not be your, I mean, roadblocker. But in general, I would suggest to start with C++ and Java. Python is also fine, but just that you won't find many resources in Python. Yeah, Mohit, you can do it in C also. It's not bad. Rubajit is asking, could you please talk about some algorithms that you have worked when you were at coordination? So uh, I did not work on direct algorithms, like the basic algorithms, but if you have used GitHub, Rubajit or other guys, there's something called Git, which is a version control system. So I wrote I wrote my own tree data structure to implement Git, and that was a very interesting project I did. I built a new data structure which is similar to what Git does for a use case in coordination. Then I also wrote an algorithm in natural language processing that comes under machine learning to basically to compute the quality of an article. So how good an article is or how bad an article is. So this is what I did. Yeah. Simran, what about internships? So yeah, in internships also DSA becomes more important because when you give internship interviews, usually people don't expect you to know a lot of computer science concepts, but they expect you to know DSA. Again, why? Because DSA tells the aptitude, and if you are good in aptitude, you will be able to pick up whatever is taught during whatever task you are given during internships. As a web developer, how to manage our time to give for both development and DSA? There is no strict guideline, Shubham, and about this. But to give some idea, at Masai, what we do is, so we have this whole 996 curriculum. In that, what we try to do is like 12 hours in a day. So 3 hours we give to DSA and 9 hours we give to the development part. So 30% of the time is given to, 25 to 30% of the time is given to DSA, and 75% time is given to software development. But it depends on person to person. People who are strong in software development or web development, if you are already strong, then you can give more time to DSA, right? So that is how it should be. If you are strong in something, then give some more time to other thing. Yeah, Divyanshu, you can learn DSA and C++. Yeah, you can start DSA after doing some front end development also. Makes sense. Yeah. There is one more poll, guys. I wanted to have. I think this poll should have been at the beginning. But this is also a very interesting poll. Bharat, could you share the poll of who was the first programmer? Yeah. So does anyone? How many of you know who was the first programmer on Earth, basically? So I will give you some hint. It was the person was 1800 to 1837. That was when the person lived, like 1800 to 1837. So I have given some hint that Alan Turing was during World War II. So if someone knows when World War II has happened, they can give some idea. Yeah. So apart from this, something Alan Turing I have already talked about. Charles Babbage was the guy who invented computer. He is regarded as the person who invented computer. Alexander Bell is the person who invented telephone. The first telephone. So yeah. And the correct answer is Ada Lovelace. So Ada Lovelace was again somewhere between a mathematician and a computer science enthusiast. At that time, we did not have computer science, but she worked closely with Charles Babbage, and that is how she wrote the first program. So that is how it happened. And yeah, Alan Turing was during World War II. World War II happened in 1940, so that couldn't have been the answer. And Alexander Bell was also around 1900. He was into electronics, so he built a telephone. He was not into computer science. So yeah, he is also not the right answer. The right answer is Ada Lovelace.
Rohit, I think we have some
Cool.
questions. I'll just run it for you.
Yeah.
You know, so that,
Sure.
yep. So I think a lot of people are asking DS, any YouTube channels or any YouTube material that they can look into to learn
Yeah.
DSA, etc.
So definitely, I mean, when it comes to reading material, I would say that okay, there are some code forces blogs, as well as top coder editorial blogs. For reading material, that would be good. For watching, I think there is one channel called one channel by Aman Dhatarwal. He is doing a really good job when it comes to learning DS Algo. So he has built a series. There is one person called Gaurav Sen. So his YouTube, his playlist on DS is also really good. And there is one more called Rachit Jain. He has also designed a very good playlist on data structures and algorithms. So these are the three people. Yeah, Deepak has also suggested one more, My Code School. They are also really good. So these are 3 to 4 YouTube channels which you can start. So the point is, don't go through multiple YouTube channels. Try to stick to one channel and learn more about. I mean, stick to it. I mean, if you try to learn from 10 different resources, you will get confused and won't learn anything. It's better to stick to one resource and understand. And uh, Tushar Roy, there is one more guy called Tushar Roy. He is also really good. So yeah, there is one more channel called Coders for Coders. They are recently starting. It started by my friend. They are also really doing a good job. So yeah.
Great. So there's one question. DSA is needed in front end development. I'm sure if that question.
Not exactly. Yes, I wouldn't say a very direct application is required. But yeah, I mean, uh, if you have that knowledge, it will help you optimize your front end code, right? Like again, when you build big scale products, you want to write code which works very fast, and yeah, then you need to have understanding of algorithms. Like front end also requires algorithms. Front end is not only HTML, CSS. There are a lot of other front end frameworks like React, Vue, which use a lot of algorithms, and you need to understand them. Okay, Jaisima, I will try to type that in chat so that you can. I will try to type some YouTube channels that I know.
Yep. Meanwhile, next question is, yeah, between development or DSA, which section you feel we have to be more focused to become a better software developer?
I would say one should begin with DSA, but move towards software development. So DSA is something like maths. Like once you study it, you won't forget it. I mean, if you study it properly, again, if you have ratified everything, then you can't do good. But if you have studied, understood it very well, you won't forget it for your lifetime. So you should start with DSA and then move towards development. So to become a better software developer or to have a long-term career, you need to have a very good understanding at DSA. That definitely is there. And as you keep working at different places, as you keep building softwares, you will get better understanding of development also. So starting should be from DSA definitely.
Thanks
Yeah,
a lot.
Rajveer. I mean, Rajveer. Yeah, you need to have understanding of DSA to be able to do CP. CP. I mean, definitely you need to know DSA. Yeah, complexities, notations, definitely comes under DSA. I would say.
There's one. Can we do machine learning in JavaScript? I'm not sure.
Yeah, again, you can do anything in any language, right? You can do machine learning in English also. But so that's what, like there are algorithms and there is code. Now some languages are built for some specific purpose. So someone felt that okay, I don't want to write a very machine level language, so they built Python. Someone wanted to do something which, so for front end there are certain specific languages, for backend there are certain specific languages, for data structures, for databases there are certain specific language, so SQL, no SQL. So whatever you can do in C++, you can do in SQL also, but I mean not 100%, but to certain extent that can be done in SQL also. But every language has a purpose of its own. So yeah, it's not that you cannot do machine learning in JavaScript. You can definitely do it, but not recommended. Usually it is Python, Julia, or R, which is usually used for machine learning.
Got it. Thanks, Lohit.
Yeah. But then do you want to pick up any questions which are related to Masai School?
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay, sure.
So I think someone is asking, a BA student can get job in development field. Upendra, I'm not sure if I got it correct, but if you're willing to learn, software development or coding, certainly yes. We've had examples where we have people from diverse background with zero coding experience also making it into the world of software development. So definitely yes. Uh, is HTML is important for writing? This is from Bharat. Can you take the last
Uh,
question, Rohit?
yeah, is
Not sure
HTML
if
is
it was.
important for writing language? I did not understand the question, but I mean, it's not like HTML is a separate language, but so HTML is used for frontend. And yeah, I mean, Bharat will be talking about some event or something in next few minutes, and probably that will help you. I mean, if you be present over there, that will help you understand what HTML is.
Right. I'll take some questions that are from Masai's perspective. Can you, Lloyd, talk about internships, etc.? How can college students possibly find good internships? Is there any tricks from your bits days that you would
Yeah,
like to share?
sure. So yeah, I can see now that some of you have asked. So internship, first of all, the first thing is again you need to be good at your skills. That's the first thing. Now I don't know what colleges you guys are from, but many colleges have their own internship program. So definitely sit for that program. If your college does not have an internship program, the first thing that you can do is like participate in contests. Like there are a lot of contests organized by various companies. Like Google has Google Kickstart or Google Codejam. Facebook has something called Facebook Hacker Cup. So by the way, the T-shirt I'm wearing belongs to that particular contest. So give those contests. Quora has a coding Quora has a programming contest. So all these companies have LinkedIn, Facebook. All of them have these. Microsoft, etc. have these contests. Try to take part and try to do good in them. So generally, people who do very well in them, companies try to reach out to them for internships or full-time programs or whatever, and all that stuff. So yeah, this is one thing that you can do to get internships. Second thing is reach out to your college seniors or people on LinkedIn whom you have built good networks with. So try to ask them are you a suitable candidate for their company, first of all? And if not suitable, what can you work upon to become suitable? And try to work upon that and then try to pitch them that, okay, hey, this is my resume. Can you please help me get a referral or something in your company? So these are, I mean, two good ways to apply. First, directly giving the coding test of the companies or coding competitions organized by the companies, hackathons organized by the companies. Those are also very good ways to get internships. Third way is like reaching out to your college seniors or connections on LinkedIn to get internships and asking them what are the requirements of their companies. So these are 2-3 ways I know of that can definitely help you in internships. So yeah, and one should definitely apply for internships, even if they don't get one. I mean, it's okay. Try it right now, so that when you apply for jobs, you will be through to the process, right? Like you will have an idea about what the process was and what you will get an idea about what do you need to work on to become better. So you will have 1 year completely when you apply for internships to full time. So that is what very important.
Great. Thanks, Lohit. I think in the interest of time, Shiv, can you quickly roll out the feedback form? So guys, just take 3 to 4 minutes and share your valuable feedback with us in terms of how you like the session. What else you would like to hear from us? We'll continue to do these sessions regularly. Engaging the student community. So please feel free to post your message. So Shiv is gonna share the link over here shortly. I think there are a lot of questions around Masai School, etc. I think we don't have time to cover all of them, but I have something interesting that I'm going to share, which would be a good medium for you guys to come engage with us, understand more about Masai School, and also kind of like learn and kind of like participate in any of our courses or workshops, etc. So I'm gonna quickly share something with you, Lohit, if you can just stop your
Yeah, sure.
share screen. I'll share something. Yep. So guys, next week on 18th and 19th, we are hosting a workshop for beginners, and it's a 2-day coding workshop. I am just sharing my screen so that you're able to. Yes. So this is what we are hosting on 18th and 19th. It's a completely free workshop. You can come spend 2 days with us, understand if coding is right for you, and at the end you will be able to build a project, which is an interactive Sudoku game. So whatever you learned from Lohit, today, you will have an opportunity to expand on those learnings, as well as like build a project at the end. This is something that would be very useful for you, for your placements, etc., where you can show off your project, put it in your resumes, etc. So Shiv is going to share the link with you where you can go register, join our Discord group where you'll have all the details about the workshop. And on 18th and 19th, you can spend 2 days with us learning basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, building the project at the end. And if you're able to submit the project, you get the completion certificate, as well as an opportunity to interview for any of our courses. That is full stack web development part-time program. So Shiv is going to share the link. So if you guys are interested, please feel free to like register, spend 2 days with us. You'll get to know our teaching methodology, our culture, etc., which would be useful. And for folks who have questions about Masai School, our program, our curriculum, our placements, etc., this is a great time for you to engage with us and understand more about it. We have like Q&A slots on that day, which you can utilize to ask questions, with our team, etc. So this is how typical day is going to look like. Agenda is right there in the registration form. So you can, just go register, and we look forward to seeing you on for the workshop. So with this, I think we can end the session. You guys will receive an email, shortly, possibly by tomorrow morning, where we'll share the YouTube link of this session, as well as share the details of the next workshop. So with this, on a closing note, I would like to thank Lohit for doing this engaging session. I'm sure we'll continue to engage and do something interesting, for the student community moving forward. So thanks for your time, Lohit, and thanks to Shiv, who has helped organizing this, executing a lot of these pieces, and he'll be the guy who will be continuously communicating with all of you, from a community standpoint, and helping you all. So with this, I think super excited to see you all for the next workshop. Thanks for joining today. I hope everyone is staying safe. Take care of yourself and your well-wishers, and you'll continue to hear from us on the next set of events that we are doing. So thank you so much, guys. We'll look forward to seeing you for the workshop and also engaging with you for our future events. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.